All right. Greetings, brothers and sisters. It's so good to be here with you. It is day 12 on our journey to wholeness, and I am excited and honored to be able to hold this space again with you. So as we wait for folks to come on in, which is what we do, I'd like to give greetings to the YouTube folks and to any replay visitors who will be seeing this video sometime in the future. We'll begin by calling in the energy of the directions. So connecting with the energy of the east, the air, the south, the fire, the west, the waters, and the north, the earth, our home. Connecting with our heart, connecting in with our heart energy, and anchoring into our earth, our toes, our feet, our energy into the heart of our earth. She nourishes everything. She'll nourish us too. And connecting up to source, the beginning of it all, that which is unknown, unable to be explained. And so today's conversation around this journey that I am going through and that I've invited you along with me is on the energy of choice. Choice. And how much power we really hold in that act. And the work of honoring it for ourselves and honoring it in others. It becomes a dance, this energy of choice, right? Because we live in a society that mandates so much of our things. So much of our behaviors are mandated. There are societal constructs, and then there are just things that no one can even explain to you. It's just how we do it. This is just how it is. And it's like, and you feel powerless to deal with those kinds of energies because of the fact that there's a part of you, part of me, a part of us that says, I yearn to be free. I want to give my choice. I want to make the decision. And there may be times where choice can be a very difficult thing for us to engage in as a people, as individuals, and as a group of people. Choice is a very difficult thing for many of us to engage in. However, the power of choice is our own sovereign right. We were all given birthright. We're all given choice by being born. We're here now. And there are those who would do whatever they could to deny us our ability to choose. Now, I understand that there is a nature of everyone having a choice. So if I choose to come over and do something that you feel is harmful, that crosses your boundaries, then I know that I have to now deal with your choice to whether or not to respond or react to me. That's how we begin the dance of humanity. How do we interact? How do we share with one another? How do we grow with one another? How do we create a society that works for everyone? How do we create a society that works for everyone? A big part of that is truly by honoring each of our sovereignty. Each of us has sovereignty. And as parents, for those of us who are custodians of little people, one of the things that we have done has made it where our children are looking to us for the choice of right and wrong. Our children don't even get to explore the outside like they did because someone needs to control them. Well, right now we're at a place where it can't be, we are rejecting them. And there may be times where there will be those who will come who wish to deny us our sovereignty, our right to free choice. I just happen to believe that everything is conspiring for our good. So I've chosen certain values. I made a choice to certain values. And those values help me to align with things outside of my conditionings. If I value that your word is important and my word is important, if I value beneficence, which means to do no harm, if I value that, then I have to value your word if you tell me that I've brought harm to you. Even if I don't see that, even if you brought harm to me, then I begin to say, oh, so I'm understanding that we need space apart so that we can learn how to interact with each other and not bring harm. That is a very big task. But on our journey towards wholeness, it is incredibly important. We talked about frequency yesterday. We talked about the energy of being self-aware, and we say we want someone, but to do some things, we want people to be safe. We want, a healthy world. However, we don't get to say what that looks like for the other. We can only say what that looks like for ourselves, and maybe work to expand and grow in what could be possible. What can be possible. Too often, many of us are saying no to things or denying things or working to control things. And I tell you, life longs for itself. We will be in a battle with, if your battle is keeping the natural environment from doing what it does, we'll be in battle forever. If your battle is, choosing to try to deny another human being something that is welling up in them, all you're doing is making them stronger. Passions become stronger when you try to hold it back. So how do we deal with others and their sovereignty and deal with ourselves and our sovereignty when it doesn't work or when we're having difficulty? For you guys who don't know, for me, I call on two particular paths. There's a twofold path for me. And that is a path of heart and communication. Heart and communication. My will to know what's true for me. My sacral to know what my passions are. My root to be grounded in knowing that I am okay and that I will be okay. And that person is that person and I am myself. Like my root, my self-protection, my self-awareness around what grounds me and make sure that like the basics are taken care of, food, clothing, shelter, like my roots, my basic thing, my value statements. In that regard, that's why I talked about, beneficence or, working to do no harm. I do believe though in protection. I believe that protection of boundaries is important. I'm not one of those people who yield all. We haven't gotten back there in our physical world. We haven't gotten back to a place where we can just let it all go and not have to worry about a thing, because that's not how our earth teaches us. Each element has its own domain. You put water in fire, the water is going to heat up or the fire is going to be put out. They have their own domains. Fire lives in one space. Water and dirt become mud. It becomes something different than what it had been. Air feeds the fire, but air and water. I'm using these examples as loosely as they're coming out to say that domain and dominion of understanding one's own nature is important, and we're all learning what that means. Like, I've never experienced a July 25th of 2020 before. So I'm learning what my day looks like as I go through with my value statement, with my core things. And in the energy of sovereignty, it means allowing grace. There's a lot of allowing to begin to know, and then the understanding of what you will not allow. And that can be challenging for people, but choice is very important. And what happens as we honor choices is we get to have different experiences. So I honor you today to begin to, in your personal relationships, how can you honor choice, but also honor purpose and roles and definitions? I believe that, our children need us to teach and guide, even as we begin honoring their choices. I believe that I work with elders. I believe that one of the worst things we've ever done was take away elders' freedom, their choices. The elders need their freedom and their choices. And we don't always like it, but that's just what it is. Because, and I was a child, I wish I'd had been given more explanation so that I could make an informed choice. I wish that I had been given more knowledge and wisdom as opposed to just do what I say. knowledge and wisdom to make an informed choice. Well, this is why stories and proverbs have always been teaching tools for whole people. Stories and proverbs, teaching tools for whole people. So look at stories, check out proverbs, sayings, find that bit of wisdom that can help you to work with your young people. If you're working with elders and older people, know that that's also important, right? That we still hear them, because when I get older, I promise you, I will still demand to understand. I need understanding. Bring me to understanding. If you're concerned about my safety, which is often why we try to control others, I'm trying to keep you safe. And the person, you gotta be able to explain and show and share, mirror. Let me show you what it looks like, what it feels like for me. And if the person says, let me go, then you have to let them go. Let them go with light and love. But that's what it means to honor choice. So today's topic of choice comes through as I'm working through that myself and my choices and how I make them, and understanding that, you can want something all day long, but if you don't make the choices necessary to allow that to come into your world, well, then you get what you get and you don't get upset. What choices did you make? Did you make the choices, the actions, the steps that will lead you towards what you want, or will lead you in the exact opposite direction? This is how that self-awareness plays into our choice making. And here's the best part about making a choice. If you find out that it doesn't work for you, you can always make a new choice. You can always make a new choice. You really can. Even if it means having to do so inside of our mind. There are many things that we've had to work through in our mental space until we were given that opportunity to get better. But we have to own our choices. We have to own our choices so that we can own our actions. I chose to do that thing. You chose to do that thing. And so here we are. You don't like where we are. I don't either. But we are here. This is why choice, when we honor choice, we get to honor agreement, because a lot of us make agreements to things in our society because we have already relinquished the power of choice. We have relinquished it. We have not even given it to some people. Some people have no choice. They have no choice. They must do what I say do. Powerful energy that we are confronting when we deal with taking back our own power to choose. But this is important because agreements to how this thing operates, without giving any thought to whether or not it is something that we want to agree to, we end up giving away our choice, our power to simply say, no, this does not work for me. And I could agree with you if this is what was done. So there are the choices within relationships, and there are choices as it relates to our relationship with ourselves. But in our journey to wholeness and ownership, owning ourselves, owning our walk, owning our path, owning our health, owning our healing, owning our solutions. When you own it all, including the solutions. You become the solution and you take back your power. You own your power. That's the power in choice. Owning your power. You get to choose. And choose again and again and again. I choose love over and over again. It works for me. There are those who would look at me like, you're crazy. I'm like, no, I'm a warrior for it though. I stand my ground. Like I stand. There are places where I've learned how to no. And that no is clear. My no's were not always clear. And it put me in very vulnerable situations. And it made me the recipient of pain. It's things that I allowed. Now, there are times where the allowing was allowing the battering on the inside of me. And I had to learn how to, what you're not going to do is, there's an old saying, it's a gospel saying, you won't take my joy, devil. I hear Kirk Franklin in my head, you won't steal my joy. The idea of allowing others, to usurp our power, it becomes a journey in choice. Where did you make the agreement that what they said was true? Did they say something that sounded like something that had been said to you somewhere before where you unconsciously gave agreement to it? I don't know. But these become questions as you begin taking back your power on wholeness and dealing with the energy of choice. How do we foster sovereignty? How do we foster sovereignty? By honoring agreements, making informed agreements. We got to stop that too. There are a lot of people who will give you what they need you to have in order to get an agreement. That's deception, that's lies, and we have to elevate it. And for me, it's not a matter of not trusting anyone, it's going with my gut. So if my gut says no, I just say no even when it sounds good, because I'm aware that I might not have all the information. My gut says no, even though it sounds good, feels good, could be good. There are enough things in it that says, but that right there is a no. I want as many hell yeses. I want as many as hell yeses, like my whole being yeses as possible. And I want that based on as much clear and accurate information as I can have. Too often people have been robbed of real information. And so they're giving agreements to things that if they had full information on, they would not. That is glamour. That is deception. That is someone working to manipulate and lie. And they can take your choice, your informed choice, away from you. And some of us don't want to be informed. Some of us only want to feel good. And that's our choice too. We can say, I don't want to know. Just make me feel good. That's your choice. That's your choice. And go forward with it. But I do believe that as a society, we're being called to something higher. I do believe we're being called to something higher. Because just because it works now doesn't mean it will work always. So we have to claim our power to choose. We have to make agreements with consciousness, checking in with ourselves. And that's work that a lot of people haven't, I won't say that. Let me drop that. That is work that many of us are beginning to engage in, and I'm glad to be on that journey with you. If you're someone who is beginning that work or on that path of engaging all of your senses as it relates to your decision making and your movements and your actions, that you're coming from a place of stillness as opposed to a place of simply feeling good because it sounds good. If you're coming from that place, I applaud you in your work, in your honoring of your sovereignty, and your honoring of your awareness of who you are and your ability to choose. Because when we make a choice, even if it's an internal one to say, I will be here as long as I must be here, but I will do the action steps. We talked about will. I will do the things necessary to give myself a different option, a different choice. And that again comes in to our being whole. We are whole and complete. We may not be able to get it when we wanna, but we can get it. We can have it all. We can have it all. So I'm gonna pull up our book, our text, and see what the message is for today. See what our message is from our book today, Spiritual Growth. As we are learning more about being our higher selves, we're getting into the energy frequency. Yesterday, I said I was going to move more into energetics. This book is about energetics. It's going to talk to you about the subtle world outside of this gross body, just this body, but our spiritual selves and how to be in with that spiritual self. And so today's idea of choice is really about owning or taking in the energy of sovereignty. No more victim. Because the victim, okay. Can't believe I'm going into this, but because I didn't want to be long, but the victim villain archetype, they live together. I've talked about this. The victim usually lives at the front door, but if it's a bully, that's because the bully or the villain lives at the front door and the victim lives in the back. Whichever way that it goes for the person, either the victim lives at the front door and then they come and they cut because their villain shows up on the back, or they show up with their bully. They show up with their bully. They show up with their villain, their monstrous, and their justification and their righteousness for that. Back behind them is the victim because you did what you better do. You got to do, and that energy is what we begin to dismantle We dismantle the energy of the victim and the villain when we begin operating based on sovereignty and honoring the choice of the other as well as the choice of the self. You don't get to be you don't get to be a villain if you honor the choice of the other. And you don't get to be a victim when you honor your own ability to choose. So it's a journey that we're all on. Each of these things kind of add to each other around being whole. Let's see what Spirit guides us to in this book today before we do our sound meditation, which is what y'all are here for. I know that too. I know y'all here for the messages, I think. But I also believe you're here for the holding of the frequency through the sound. I like to think so. Anyway, let's see what this book says. I am blown away by the fact that I keep turning to this page. I'm just gonna read it because it's here again. And here's what it says. The void is a state of transition and change. You will experience the void again and again as you grow. In this state, you may feel that your life is changing rapidly. Something new is coming, or your foundations are falling away, leaving you nothing solid to hang on to. You may feel like something is happening inside yourself, but not see any changes in your life yet. It is not a comfortable place for you personally, which likes things to be certain and secure. The void can come when you are between projects, have just had your last child leave home, have quit a job and do not know yet what to do. One of your close friends may have left, or you need to move or find a new home. It sometimes feels like you're entering a new world where the game is played differently and you don't yet know the rules. Every void is marked by issues of the heart. How you will find yourself asking deep questions such as, how can I love and accept myself more? Am I lovable? Who am I? Can I have what I want? What would I love to do with my life? You may find that you feel softer and more loving towards others in this time of uncertainty. You are raising your vibration and expanding beyond your old habits and patterns. So, it's interesting that the energy of the void keeps showing back up again and again. I think it's because of where we are in our humanity, and as a humanity rising, we are coming through something different. And because we are coming through it again and again, this new place where we're filling in our spaces, our life, it's important for us to take that knowing of choice into the void with us. Are we going to keep choosing the things that broke us, that made us feel small? Are we going to choose the things that make us a tyrant or a bully? Are we going to choose those things that allow us to maintain our own sovereignty while respecting and honoring the self-determination of the other and their ability to, the pursuit of life, joy, and happiness? Do we all get to have that pursuit? And no, they don't get to take it off your back, but they can explore it within themselves and do the work. So choice, as we move through the void, it's a powerful idea. All right, thank you. Let's do some sound healing. I choose. I choose. I choose. I choose. I choose, I choose, I choose. 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 I choose the power to choose, the power to choose, the power to choose. Choose, 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 and learn. Choose, 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 and learn. Choose and learn, and choose again. Choose and learn, be born again. Choose and learn, and learn again. Choose and learn, and be born again. Each day with What shall we choose? How does it feel? Is it our truth that we must reveal? There are voices that heal. My pain they will heal. I don't have to hurt. Joy in my birth. I go out to in every moment a new experience of you. You're still held by love. Never outside of love. Even when we choose else, love will be held. Finding frequencies of alignment, knowing heart's contentment. May we all know love. May we all know I love you. And I honor choice. Thank you so much for joining me on this message into choice. There's more that you can learn about your power and choice and choosing. But I appreciate you for choosing to be with me today. All right. So, blessings to you. Enjoy your day. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace and blessings.